Never a dull moment with the Great Wease.
Truly great burger, you have to have great meat. I treat a burger like I do a fine steak. The best thing you can do is ask your butcher, if you have a local butcher, to grind the meat fresh for you and to grind it coarse and only one time. You want to keep the texture of the meat coarse, not like a pureed, condensed hockey puck. Having said that, I had to buy this meat in the grocery store. I don't have a local butcher, so I didn't buy the patties. If you buy the patties again, they're going to be compressed and it changes the texture. And what you can do if you have a butcher, and what I do at my restaurants, I custom blend. I do a Wagyu, blend of chuck, short rib, and/or hanger steak, and then I add some smoked brisket. Aged brisket, not smoked, aged, to get that aged beef flavor into it. About 25% is aged. So if you have your butcher, try that. It just brings it to another level. All right, so I have supermarket beef that I bought, grass-fed. It's ground more finely than I would like it. So everything with cooking, great cooking, is about balance. So even the burger. So I want everything to fit this bun. So I'm going to press my burger into a bun that is exactly the size of this ring mold. Now, it's a little bit larger, but what's going to happen is your burger is going to shrink a little, and then it will fit perfectly on that bun. So you want to think about the bun, the thickness of the bun, how thick you're going to make your burgers. I'm going to make mine a ½ inch thick because I want it to get a good char on it. I want it to char like a steak. I want it crusty, right? We're going to put salt and black pepper on it and a little bit of olive oil as you would a steak, and we're going to char it on that grill. So that's where all your flavor, that's where the Maillard effect comes into play, right? When it gets that dark, caramelized, beefy flavor, that's what you want in a burger. So you have to keep it thicker, otherwise it would overcook well done if you made it thinner. So the ratio is very important. Now, what you want to do is I'm going to make about an 8-ounce burger, and I'm just going to pack it in this ring mold as lightly as possible. I don't want to smash it down. I want to keep it light, but I also want to keep it, I need to form it. And that's going to be my burger, right? So I'm going to be able to get a nice char on that because of the thickness, and then still keep it medium rare, how everyone likes it. All right, so I ended up with 11 burgers, and then one smaller burger. So that's the perfect amount that I need for today. I'm going to wrap these up, put them in the refrigerator. Okay, so it's the same thing with the garnish. I am going to cut it exactly the size of the bun. So I got a smaller cutter here, and this looks like the perfect size to fit on the bun. So I chose iceberg. Why did I choose iceberg? For several reasons. One, I like the texture of it, the crispness of it. I do not like to put bib lettuce or a softer lettuce on there. Romaine is kind of it doesn't really fit nicely. Iceberg is a classic, right? And I like the texture and the crispness, and that water content in it is refreshing, and it cuts the richness of the umami sauce. Actually, I call that a umami sauce, by the way, the special sauce. I call it a umami sauce. It cuts the richness of the beef and the sauce, and it just kind of brings it all together. So what I'm going to do is take the outer leaves off, and then we're going to get large leaves, and I like about 3. Let me put this out of the way so you can see. Depending on the thickness of it, I like 3 layers of lettuce. It's just perfect amount for the burger. So what we'll do is take that and cut it. You can see through this like so, and then look at that. You have the perfect lettuce to go right on your bun. So it's all perfect, nothing hanging out. Nothing wrong with something hanging out, that's fine too. But this is what I do in my restaurant. It makes it nice and clean. And the tomato will be the same size, and the onion will be the same size. Okay? I'll save this and I'll throw it in a salad. I'm not wasting it. No. Not wasting. Also, some, like McDonald's, for example, they chiffonade their lettuce very fine. I've seen restaurants do that. That's okay, but I like this the best. It just has a nice texture to it, has a crunch, and that's what I prefer, right? Okay, next up, the tomato. So I tried to get tomatoes that were, roughly the same size as the bun. So I want beefsteak tomatoes. When you can, get heirlooms. Heirlooms aren't quite in season yet up here in the Hudson Valley, so I got the best tomato I could find. And let's see how that does. So what you want to do, instead of coming here at the end, right? Let's start right in the middle, because that's the size I want, right? So I want about a 1/4 inch tomato. And hopefully I'll get 4 slices out of each, we'll see. And then the end piece I'm going to use for a salad. Okay, so then the perfect tomato goes on like so, and then the onion. Also, think about the iceberg lettuce. It does not get limp. It'll hold up. So the tomato, I'm going to eat this in about an hour, but I don't have time to put 12 together, so I have to prep this ahead of time so that the lettuce will hold up to the tomato juices and etc. So that's another important thing. So we're just going to add these tomatoes onto the lettuce, and then I'll come back and I'll show you the onion. Okay? All right, the onion, same thing. We're going to slice it, not a 1/4 inch thick. I like a thin slice of onion. You don't need a thick slice of onion. So we're going to slice this as thin as possible. And I want it to be one thin slice across the tomato, you know, roughly the same size as the tomato. So when you bite the burger, you get a piece of tomato, a piece of onion, and a piece of lettuce. And then all that umami goodness from the sauce comes into play, and then that charred burger meat. And oh, that's what makes a great burger. So nothing much to see here. I'm just going to slice this thinly. Place it on top of on the burger. Again, I don't want a thick piece. I just want this sliced like this, and I'm just going to lay it right there. So then you end up with beautiful little burger, uncomfortable burger garnish, perfectly wrapped, perfectly cut. Perfect. Okay, garnish is done. I'm going to wrap this up and put it in the refrigerator. I have the tomato scraps. I'm going to make a cucumber salad, kind of like a pseudo Greek salad. Little onion, oregano, wild oregano. What else will I put in there? Keep it simple. Red wine vinegar, olive oil, and cucumber and tomato.
Guys.
Okay, the moment of truth. This is it. We did all the work ahead of time. We made everything perfectly cut. The special sauce, the burger lightly packed. Now, we don't want to screw it up, Steve, right? We don't want to overcook it or burn it or char it.
We want them medium rare, right?
Exactly. Rare to medium rare. After these oil them, we got the grill on high. It's real important not to let it flare up, right? We don't want to flare up because it gets that black soot on it. It doesn't taste well. So we'll have to manage the heat and see how it. There's a lot of burgers going on, so we may have to turn it down or not, because I don't know how powerful this grill is. This is Steve's grill. The Wease. What am I talking about?
We're running.
The Wease.
We may be running out of
What?
of fuel here.
What do you mean?
On empty.
Running on empty. Are you serious? That's Jody's, a small one, okay? All right, so I don't think this is very hot. Steve, I have a clean one inside without the raw meat.
Okay.
So we're gonna switch out this. The raw meat juices are on there. Steve's gonna get one that's doesn't have the raw meat
Throw
juices.
this out. Throw out the spoil.
Yeah, so you can throw that out. Okay, so I'm not gonna cover it because I want the meat to get the iota effect on it. So if I cover it, it's gonna overcook it, right? So if I wanted to cook a little more, it was too raw, it was too medium rare or something before. If it got dark already, if it got caramelized, I would cover it. Okay, in case I haven't told you yet, I'm cooking at the Great Wease house, so I'm not used to this grill. It's not real hot. I don't know how much of the iota effect we're going to get on here, but we'll see. Now, there is a debate about charcoal versus gas, and I'm going to break a myth for you. There's no difference in flavor of grilling between the charcoal briquette to the charcoal wood and gas. Where you get the flavor from the grill is when the juices drip down into the grill and that smoke comes up. All the flavonoids in that smoke is what flavors grilled ingredients, grilled food. What does affect the food if you're burning wood, if you're burning real wood that imparts the food flavor. But there's no, there's people that argue, oh, we got to use briquettes, you got to use the charcoal. What are they called? What are these called? Briquettes?
Briquettes. This isn't briquettes.
Versus
this
gas,
is
I know. Versus propane. Propane and briquettes, no difference as far as flavor. Although I can't get this very hot. Steve, you may be right. Are you running out of gas?
Maybe. Look at it. It's just like it's coming here
Oh,
empty.
shit. I'm running out of gas.
I'll go back and get the container from your place.
Again, I mean, how do you tell? Is there a gauge on it?
What does it say?
That's not. That's what the hell.
You had them fucking running here for an hour and a half with no.
I didn't know you. I thought you were turning it off. I see. There's one. Oh shit.
Okay, I'll go get that.
All right.
other one
Okay.
from your house.
Steve is going. This is. Oh yeah. So
I need a wrench.
this is in pursuit of the perfect burger. I don't think we're gonna get it today because we're not getting the right char on it. We're gonna get it like maybe. It'll be like a slow cooked burger, like a sous vide burger on the grill. Oh my gosh, are you kidding me? Oh, we going?
Yeah.
That's it?
Yeah, you see the flames coming up?
One or two.
The problem was, we're in there for 45 minutes with this thing going full blast with nothing on the grill.
So what are you saying? It cooled off and it's like.
No, it was
All right, gang. So listen.
make sure
Shit
you
happens.
have, shit happens, but make sure you always have a spare grill. Not spare gas.
I was trying to do the perfect burger here
This
today.
is
Steve.
perfect. This is gonna be perfect.
Your free
You see-
grill
you
is.
see it's not the grill, it's the fact that we were eating in there for 45 minutes while this thing was going
You
full
said-
blast. with
I'm not
nothing on
buying
the
that. You
grill.
said that. You said that 2 times already. So there's no flame. See, there's no flame up there. That's fine.
I'm gonna go get you.
Oh, this thing's melting. It's like,
Holy shit! Look at this. This could explode. Put this in the garbage can. Jesus Christ! Look at this.
listen. We're gonna roll with it. We're not gonna get the super. Now, my artifact
I'm gonna get
caramelized.
more gas.
Steve's going to get more gas. We'll see, but these burgers may be cooked before he gets back. I don't know. I'm only 3 houses down, so this is not going so well. So this is exactly what you don't want to do, is have to change the gas in the middle of cooking your burgers.
Wait, coming?
Yeah.
Fortunately, there was some neighbor that had this barbecue thing outside, so he was inside, and I was able to grab its tank.
All right, so listen, we got to work fast because
Again, this is what we call a hot change.
hot change. Let me put it up. You just can't make this up. You really can't. These are slow cooked burgers, the opposite of what you want to do with grilling, okay? These are slow cooked. I may have invented something here.
Low and
The Wease, the Great Wease and I may have invented a new way to cook burgers.
Low and slow.
Low and slow.
You gotta go get another thing to look.
Let me see.
I think I need a scissor. Wait. I gotta get a
Packaging these days. Oh,
scissor. Jesus Christ.
the burgers are dying. Oh my God.
Now,
All right, cranking it back up. We're back in business.
okay, now the third burner.
Boom.
Okay, we're in business.
Oh my God. That's the same thing. It must.
It's high. Go.
2 burners
Go.
going.
They're all running.
Really? We're trying his grill out. Steve, the Great Wease, got at a rummage sale that they actually gave it to him. And all we need to do was just light it every time because the starter was out. But however, you're getting good at this,
You
huh?
want to bring this in?
Yeah. Don't smash the burger. You gotta get all the juice out of it. Don't do that.
When you get plain.
You know what I want to do?
What? Get a little oil?
Yeah. Seriously, that's what I need. Actually, this reminds me of a little trick. Hey, if you get a little, can you get a little in a spray bottle, if possible?
Not a spray bottle. I got a.
So a trick, if you want to get a little more smoke action going, you spritz a little oil in there, and it'll get that smoke up. And that's where the flavor is, by the way. Whether you use briquettes or it's gas grill, you spritz oil in there, and it's just smoke here now. This is what's giving the flavor of grill foods, not the briquettes versus gas. Again, if you're using real wood, don't, Steve, don't blow this up. You gotta spritz it. No, don't you? Don't do that. You need to like just a little.
don't have
Can you
to do
split
that.
on your hands and go like that? All right. There you go. Look at that. This is like high tech. You gotta let them see what you're doing here.
See what I'm doing? I'm taking the oil, putting it in my hand.
And that's getting the smoke to come up and giving us flavor. How about over here? No cheese. Okay. So they're not going to be perfect as far as the char goes. So I wanted to show you that. However, we had an issue with the gas. I'm going to put this down melted cheese. So that smoke will rotate through over the top of the burgers and give that more flavor. And we'll be done in a minute. And then we'll plate up. You got to roll with it, man. We're ready to rock and roll here.
That doesn't look well done. Should have said really well done.
Everything I do is done well. That's yours.
No, more.
You want well done?
Yeah.
Okay, let's go plate up and then we'll come back and get yours. Can you hold that for a second? Don't drop it like you did the corn, all right? This is the caramelized onions here. A little more umami flavor. It's like a confit. There's no texture. It's just going to add a lot of umami. I like a lot of sauce. I have Grafton cheddar cheese on mine. The perfect burger. Okay, let's try this. Great Wease wanted to make sure I got this.
Yeah, he thinks it's
Very funny.
All right, everyone. It's a wrap. Never a dull moment with the Great Wease, I tell you. However, it's all in good fun. The burgers were still excellent. Would have liked a little more of that Maillard effect, a little more of the char in the burger, but everything else was perfect.